Right guys, Adam Rogers here, Ocean Angling, back again. Right, today I'll be showing you my vessel safety equipment checklist. Not the list, just what's on it. A couple of things missing as they're at home still, like VHF, PLB, and my torch, waterproof torch that is mine. Yeah, I keep them at home. They've got certificates and that with them as well, so the PLB's been registered and things. So go into that in another video though. So let's start. First of all, on the very top of the list, we have a life jacket. This is my life jacket. You can get them through a grant for free from I think it's Seafood Training Cornwall or Seafood Training. They're throughout the country, so yeah. So these do come for free if you're a fisherman. Obviously, if you're a normal boat user, you have to pay one for yourself. But these as well, I've had to get inspected. If you're in Cornwall, I went to LGS, which is in Poole, Lifting Gear Safety. Actually, they're in Red Roof, and they basically just check it inflates, holds inflation for about an hour, maybe more, I think, or maybe overnight. I think they even test it. So this is it. This is the first thing, most important thing as well. If you go in the water, this is what's going to save you really. And my PLB, which will be inside this life jacket, I just haven't put it in yet. Just waiting for the certificate from the Coast Guard where I've registered it with them to come, and then it will go inside my life jacket. I can use it now, of course, even if you haven't registered it. You can still use it. If it goes off, they're still going to come out and try and find you, which is also another thing. Make sure they're registered. If it does go off, make sure you've got the number of the contacts to make sure you can tell them that it was a false alarm or radio channel 16. So that's the first one. Right, second, I've got a life buoy. Yeah. And with that, I've got the boat, my number. Even if you've got your own boat, if your boat's got a name, put it on there. If your boat drifts out to sea, you throw this in, or you fall in, or for any reason you manage to hold on to this, at least they'll know where you're from and they can put a match to it, sort of thing. With regulations, it's got to have 18 metres of rope. Now, I bought this throw bag, it's 15 metres, so I just added another 3-4 metres on just to keep them happy. If I've got to throw a rope 15 metres, I can't even, well, my boat's that small, I just come right up alongside and lift them in really, so a bit pointless, a bit of a hazard with me having to have such a big space, with such a small space with such a big item, but here's what it is, it's a necessity. Next one, I've got my flare box. So for regulations, I've got to have a packet of flares, and in here should be, first of all, we've got 2 parachute flares, which are these ones here. Then we've got 2 handheld flares, which are these ones here. And then we've got 1 smoke signal buoyant or handheld. These are handheld, I've actually got 2. And this all comes in a little packet in a box. It's watertight, hopefully. But they are only in date until, I think they get 5 years, so this runs out in 2024. Basically, I think it cost 100 quid, got it from Max Salvers. It's pretty good, nice, small, compact. And to be fair, if say your radio gets wet or anything like that, and you are out there and something happens, at least you do have these and you might be lucky. Hopefully there'll be plenty of boats around. So, next thing on the list is fire bucket and lanyard. Again, my boat's that small, I could probably just take off my wet jumper. If there was a fire, it would probably be the outboard, nothing else, or maybe the battery. If I did come into any problems, I would literally just take my jumper off, douse it in the water, chuck it over the top. And if it's any worse than that, then I'd need a fire extinguisher. So, and that's my bucket basically with a lanyard. It's just, I thought I brought a folding one just to keep it compact, but I have to see what they say in the inspection, whether it's good enough. So, okay. Then next one is Multi-purpose fire extinguisher, that's something I haven't got yet. Just a 1 kg powder for an outboard really. Probably wouldn't even need that. As I said, the bucket of water, wet hoodie. If you've got something like that, if it's any worse, then obviously you're going to be abandoning the ship anyway. The whole thing is one, try not to enter the water, but two, if there's a fire and you know you can't put it out, the best thing is to just leave and get off the vessel. So, next is my PLB, which again, as I said, is in my desk at home. My VHF, again, mine's got DSR cooling. You do have to be careful because I did buy one recently, and they do sell them in the UK, and it doesn't actually have DSC cooling, which actually enables you to send a distress message via a sort of text. You'll learn about it if you do a VHF course, but you've got to be careful because there's not many lower range radios which are sold in the UK which actually offer that service. So I spent 120 quid to realise it doesn't do what I needed it to for the registration and the safety certificate. So I had to end up spending another 200 quid. Luckily they managed to just take it in part and swap it, give me a bit of a refund. Next is a baler. I believe I only need a baler if I don't have a pump. I've put a pump on, a bilge pump, but I will also just carry a baler as something easy, you know what I mean? If the pump can't keep up, which it should, I've tested that pump, I can't even pour the bucket of water in there quicker than what it can pump it out, so yeah, I've got a baler. Navigation lights and sound. Navigation lights, of course, that's on the mast, which you'll see in another video, but the sound, I've got an air horn here. Literally I didn't go for a canister or gas because, well, that would run out, could corrode, could explode, so I've gone for something like this. Just a, there we go. I think that was cheap, something like 2-3 quid something. But I did have to, I had to glue all the caps, they're a bit loose and a bit not very good. I keep that in a waterproof grab bag with, I've skipped down a list, a bit of proper first aid kit. It does have to have so much in there being a commercial fishing vessel, but I won't use that on myself, and I did notice there is a compass in there and a whistle, but we should take a look really. But yeah, it's got to be a certain standard or to a certain practice or something like that, code. I keep all this in a waterproof bag, just, well, grab bag basically, emergency, so, and it's waterproof. So that's that done. What else is there? There is then anchor and cable, which is normal. Every vessel you should carry an anchor and a bit of rope. Not even if you don't use it, it's like mine. For my inspection, it will be out on the vessel, it'll be tied to the cleat, ready to go. But once it's all passed, I'm going to put it in a locker, and I probably won't use an anchor. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be sat in one place for too long. I'll be always drifting around. The engine will be ticking over, so I'll just have it on there. If I'll get an emergency, I can just throw it out and hopefully it'll hold me fast. Unless the current's too strong. If you've got strong currents, big tides, strong winds, small boat like mine, I put the anchor out, it could actually end up being worse and pull me under. Obviously it'd be very rare for that to happen, but say you had rushing water, it can pull you under if your anchor snags, so just be warned of that. Another regulation, you've got to carry a compass. I've actually got 3, didn't realise, so there's one there, and I've also got one in my medical kit. What else? A waterproof torch, which again is my head torch, that's at home, and a radar reflector. The radar reflector itself is on the vessel again with a light, so I'll show that on a walk around. A couple of extras I have got: binoculars, just so I can see any fish, any birds diving, just in case. I have printed out this. This is mandatory as well. You've got to have a radio call. So when you get your vessel, you'll have a name and your number. And that's basically, in the VHF course, they'll teach you all about it. That is what I need to say in an emergency, rather than me having to